What up, Aries? This is Jesse with 44 Astro with a bonus mini reading. This is going to be a reading for the energies leading up to this super blue moon, which is extremely rare. It already wants to stop. This moon is going to be in perigee, which means it's going to be as close to the Earth as it gets. So it's going to look 14% bigger in the sky and is going to be conjunct Saturn while it happens. And Saturn is going to be closest to the Earth as it gets, or damn near, while also being opposition to the Sun. So this will be a challenging full moon. I will do another full moon reading. This is just going to be a bonus reading for the energies leading up to that full moon. It's just a little mini reading. Okay. We also want to draw a moon card here. And I'm using the Golden Dawn deck, or the Hermetic Tarot. It's based on the Golden Dawn deck. If you don't know what the Golden Dawn is, they are, around the turn of the century, the biggest magic practitioners in like a school for magic and mysteries. I imagine there are remnants of them today in the Theosophical Society. Probably some other organizations they have ties to, like the Freemasonry and whoever else claims themselves to be a study of the occult. Okay. That was the one right there. Okay. So for the overall energy, you got communication is key. New moon in Gemini. So this is something to do with the way you communicate, or the individuals you're speaking to. And for Aries, this full moon is going to be in the 11th house. So if it's in the 11th house, it's going to be, because it's in Aquarius, so it's going to be a conjunction with Saturn and the moon in Aquarius. So it's going to be the way you interact with the collective. So it makes a lot of sense that communication will be key. And it's going to be rough because Saturn's going to be touching your inner world with the conjunction, and also your outer world, the sun, the way you project yourself out in the world. And Saturn is always challenging energy no matter how you face it. So the first card was the Nine of Swords. In this deck, it is the Lord of Despair and Cruelty. And it has to do with, as you can see, Mars and Gemini. Let me see if I hold all three of them up. I can get a focus on this. Need to get some better lighting. You also have the Three of Pentacles, which is the Lord of Material Work. And then the Eight of Pentacles, which is the Lord of Prudence. As you can see, it's Lord of Material Work, Lord of Despair and Cruelty, Lord of Prudence. So this looks like, if it has to do with communication, it has to do with your work, almost certainly. Something with what you're doing in work. Communication within your workplace, or with your co-workers, or if you're the boss, your subordinates, or your communication with your boss. I don't see the Emperor or anything like that here. So it looks like whatever you're working on, you are worried about it, because it's the Lord of Despair and Cruelty, right? And you have two things talking about Gemini here, because the Lord of Despair and Cruelty is Mars in Gemini. That's what it's represented by in this card. Maybe you have Mars and Gemini, but it's that kind of energy, right? If you have Mars and Gemini, it's going to be very forceful type communication. And as you can see, this is new moon in Gemini. So it is communication all around. So it's going to be the way you're communicating in your work, whether it be with your boss. This is what's going to be tested. This is the Lord of Material Work. You got the solar disk at the top there. This is also Mars in Capricorn. Okay, so you have a lot of Mars energy here too, Aries, which makes sense because you're an Aries. And then this is Prudence. Right, this is just going to be, it means very similar to what it means in the Rider Waite, which is just basically working hard and working steadily on something. And it's the Sun in Virgo. And you see a flower, it's flower growing up in that one. And this one you see like thorns growing around the pentacles. So it's about something that's being grown or being created. So whatever it is that you're trying to create, I mean, you got Mars twice here. Energy, and you got Gemini twice. So it's, forceful communication is what's going to be tested for you. So the way you communicate when Saturn's touching that moon, and it's going to be August 30th, and it's going to be in your 11th house, which is your social, the way you present yourself in the collective. And then the Sun, of course, if it's in the 11th, it's going to be in the 5th house where the Sun will be. So it's going to be really about your self-expression, the way you communicate and self-express, that's what's going to be tested for you. Saturn doesn't play. He tests, and that's what's coming. It'll only last for probably a couple days, the energy, before it kind of fades away. But it's coming, and this is the energy leading up to that. So this is what probably what your test is going to be, is communication. So you're going to have to balance that out, because with an opposition with the sun, you need to balance out how you express yourself. That's going to be a balance between being very reserved and calm like Saturn, or even restrictive, not saying what you want, to where the sun would be the opposite, which is saying, just laying it all out there. This is who I am. Deal with it. So you're gonna have to balance that type of energy out in your communications. And then your inner world's going to be tested by Saturn. Your beliefs are going to be tested. Your whole world's going to be shaken. He's like, do you really believe this? Do you really feel this way about it? And your resolve will be tested, because that is what Saturn does. This reading is just to kind of lead up to the energies, to let people know what to expect, because it's going to be a powerful full moon. This is going to be a real rare one. It's a super moon and a blue moon. Blue moon literally happens when you get 2 full moons in a month. That's why they say, and it only happens every 2.7 years. So it's pretty rare. That's why people say once in a blue moon, because it's something that's rare. And like I said, it's going to be in perigee, which there's an oval shape orbit for the moon around the Earth. So with that oval shape, on one side it's going to be as close as it gets. On the other side it'll be as far as it gets, perigee and apogee. And we're going to be in perigee. And Saturn in his elliptical orbit, which is an oval, he's going to be as close to the Earth as he gets. So we're going to feel it heavily. So we're going to feel those restrictions. We're going to feel those boundaries. We're going to feel challenged, which should be nothing for an Aries. You beat your head through the wall until it collapses. So that's why you're a ram. I think it's going to be all right. Just watch your communication. That seems to be what this reading is about. And it looks like it's going to be at work or something you're trying to create. If you're trying to sell it to someone else or give it to someone else, you're trying to express it or show it to the world, which it looks like it's going to be here, because you have a sun symbol right here. We also have a moon card, so you just need to get that in balance. Your communication, whether you want to be overly outward with it or whether you want to be kind of restricted. You just have to figure out when and where that needs to be done. So you probably need to watch your anger and the way you communicate. And then your inner world's going to be tested as well. Your beliefs are going to be tested. Your emotions are going to be tested. Your faiths, it's all going to be tested. Okay, Aries, that's all I have for you. It's just a little bonus reading. Please consider liking and subscribing, commenting. I'm going to do an in-depth full moon reading for this super blue moon that's coming with conjunction Saturn opposite Sun, and it's coming on the 30th of August. And I'll break down the mansion of the moon and to give a little bit more information on it when I do that reading. But this is just a little bonus reading of the energies leading up to it and what to expect. Okay, bye-bye.